Right guys, right, so we're carrying on with the boat. I've pulled the outboard off. I'm just having a look. I should have videoed it, but the pull start is knackered, or something's missing. I think there's something missing. So it is rusted up. I did manage to free it up. It spins and returns absolutely fine, but as you pull this and it spins, I'm sure something's supposed to lock into these to spin this. I'm not sure. I'll have another look at it in a minute. So I checked the compression's fine. But what I have done for now, I have rigged up my drill to the end of it. I know it's not ideal, but it's working. And I thought, right, we got compression. Next thing to check would be spark. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on my phone. We've got spark on at least one of the plugs anyway. So, give me 2 secs. I'll swap this one over. Hopefully we've got spark on both coils working. Let's bring it back. So we can see in here. Okay. So both coils are doing their job. Lovely. That's what we like. Well, it's got compression and spark. All it really needs now is fuel and air. What I'll do is I'm going to try and stand it up. Probably going to pull the carburetor off of this because it's been sat for a while and everything else is all gunked up. I'm going to clean this filter out. I'm sure you can take these apart and clean these. The ones I've done in the past you can. That'd be the next thing to check. So I'll bring you back in a sec. Right, so I've just turned it up on its side. I've just pulled the fuel filter off, and yeah, it's full of crap, but I can clean this out. It's good. It's not too bad. Fuel smells manky, so it definitely hasn't been started for a while. Even though the guy told me he had it running not long ago, which I do not believe. I've had the pull start apart. I've cleared out all the rust. I've got that working again, so fingers crossed that'll work. But while we're messing around and playing with it, we'll just use the drill. It's easier. Save my arms a little bit. Right, well, I'm happy it's got spark and compression. That's the main bit over. Right, let's have a look at this carburetor. Okay, so I've got one nut off from the carburetor. I pulled the choke off. I didn't film it. I need both hands. Bit of a pain in the bum. That one. But we're going to get this second nut off here. Keep everything over there. Right, now the carburetor can wobble around a little bit. Now I can move it forward to get to those 2 screws. There. So we need to remove those first. Remove this plastic casing. We should be able to remove this carburetor off. Oh, I should do that now. Hi, are you alright? Right. So that's that off. Right, what we should be able to do now is wiggle this up and remove the whole thing. It's so awkward with one hand. I'm probably going to have to use both my hands again. I'll put you down again. Sorry guys. I'm going to have to get some sort of tripod or something. Right, there we go. Okay, we've got a vacuum line on the bottom, so we pull that off. Right, there we go. That's off. That's the choke assembly. Put that to the side. Right. The carburetor's off. So basically the fuel comes into the bottom of this bowl here. It's got a float in there. Ooh. Big spider. So the fuel comes into this. It's got a float inside. I'll take it apart in a minute so you can see. Try and gain access to that. Yeah. Wherever the screws are, looks like we've got to disassemble the whole thing. So yeah, when the float comes up, it pushes the needle up, and then that stops that overfilling and fueling into there. And then obviously when you're on the throttle, it's pulling air in, sucks the fuel up, atomizes it, does some magician stuff, makes your engine run. Not too complicated. So we pull it apart and let's have a look. Okay, so we've got the carburetor off. First thing I'm going to do, because most of the time it's just literally the float's not working, the float's stuck, or the needle inside that's stuck where the float pushes on the needle. So when the fuel fills up into your bowl here, it has a float inside, which I'll show you in a second, and when that float pushes up, pushes the needle up, stops the flow of fuel coming into your bowl. And then obviously the airflow through your carburetor, that's sucking up the fuel here, atomizes, sprays into your engine, suck, boom, bang, and all the rest of it. Alright, so what we'll do is just take this off and have a look. Get the bowl off. And be very careful as well, because I don't want to buy any gaskets for this. Hopefully we'll just reuse everything. You see how nasty the fuel is? The old two-stroke, there we go. Okay. Right, so that's off. You guys should be able to see this. See the float goes up and down? Yeah. Right. So what I do is take the float off. And there's a needle here. So I can't. Oh no, this is not a very good video. You guys can't see it very well. There's a needle there. That should be able to pull out. I can't touch my phone because my hands are covered in fuel. Right. So there's your tiny needle. It's up in that hole there. Your float, when it fills up with fuel, your float pushes on that and your arms on that. Everything looks fuel. Everything looks free, sorry. Lovely and clean, apart from discoloured fuel. So what I'm going to do is just going to clean this out and make sure it's good. Give it a little once over. Yeah, and I'll get back to you in a sec. Right, so what I've done, I've cleaned the carburetor up, I've put it all back together. The float and the needles going up and down. Also, the jet that was actually in the bottom of this, I gave that a clean as well. Blew it through. So I know that's all fine. Alright, so that's all back together. With if you guys can hear that noise, that's the float moving up and down. So it's definitely free. That's good. So what I'm going to do now is give the area a clean up. I'm going to put all this back together, and then we will continue tomorrow, because I need to try and mount the outboard upright somehow. I'll probably be able to do it on the back of my truck. Hello, Belle. Have you come to help me today? Belle? It's my cat. She always likes ending her hand, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, so we do that. Let's see if we can get a fire out of it. If it does fire, we won't be able to run it. Obviously it's got to be in a bucket of water, or you can get these ear muffs that plug to your hose pipe to put on there to run the water up through. That's what cools the engine. Plus we also need to do that to see if the impeller's working, which is in the bottom, near the gearbox at the bottom. There's an impeller. It's like a rubber spider thing It spins around the bottom and that sucks the water up. What happens over time is a dry rot, perish, can fall apart. So we'll check that as well. Hopefully borrow some of my things so we can run it up just outside on the back of the truck of my girlfriend's dad. He's got a boat, so I'm sure he's got some somewhere. Right, so we'll leave it at that for now. Now I've got to go and cook some dinner. See you in the morning.